Dear students and participants of the course on railway engineering, today we are going to continue with the signaling systems. In the previous lecture, we talked about the objectives of providing the signals, what is the broad classification of the signals which are used on the tracks, and then we discussed about few of the signals like audible signals, visual signals, fixed signals, and in the case of fixed signals we talked about the semaphore stop signals and the permissible signals or permissive signals which are named as Warner signals and distant signals. In today's discussion we will be taking it forward and we will first talk about the colored aspect signals, and then we will move to the specific type of signals which are provided in the station limits or marking the station limits with respect to the block limits in terms of the reception signals, routing signals and departure signals, and then finally the schedule of aspects will be taken up. So, starting with the colored aspect signals. Now, colored aspect signals, these basically are the one which are nowadays being used more as compared to the fixed arm signals which are the semaphore signals. So, semaphore signals are getting replaced by the color aspect signals specifically on the electrified tracks. So, in automatic signaling systems like suburban sections and on sections with high intensity traffic, there also the semaphore signals they have been slowly replaced by the color aspect signals. And these signals they can be used in the daytime as well as the night time, because the intensity of the light which is coming out of it is such that the loco pilot can see that light even in the daytime. Now, high intensity color beam which is coming, this comes at the eye level of the loco pilot, and the normal position of the color aspect signals is off, that means green. So, if you remember in the case of semaphore signals, there we talked about an on condition, and when we said on it was stop or it was red color. But there is a change now. When you are talking about a colored aspect systems, it says that it is green or off, or the train can proceed with a maximum permissible speed. So, that means we are saying you keep moving on the track unless and until there is a problem, and we will tell you at that point and you can control the speeds. So, as soon as the track is occupied it turns to red, that is on position indicating stop, as well as during failures also it will be showing the stop condition, and which is genuine that it should be done. Now, there are three types of color aspect signals: the 2 aspect, 3 aspect and 4 aspect signals. Now, when you say it is 2 aspect, the normal condition will be red and green only, but when you say 3 aspect the yellow will come into picture, and if it is a 4 aspect then there will be 2 yellows, and they are related with the stop condition, caution condition and attention condition, as we have discussed previously that there are possibility of having 4 aspects along with the green showing proceed. So, on Indian railways normally 3 and 4 aspect signals are being used nowadays. So, one of the signal is being shown here, there is a red color light which is coming out of it, it means that you need to stop. So, these colored aspect signals they are being shown. So, this is a stop because it is a red color, it is a yellow light, it is caution, it is a green light, it is proceed. When we say caution, caution means proceed and be prepared to stop at the next signal. Now, here there are 4 aspects being shown. So, this was a 3 aspect colored lights signal. Now, we are talking about a 4 aspect color light signal. So, attention is the another one which has got added, and here attention means proceed, but be prepared to pass the next signal with the restricted speed, and here 2 yellow lights are being shown which are at a certain distance of say 1.5 meter, as we have discussed previously. As soon as the train moves into a block, the signal turns red at the start of the block section, and when the train passes through the block section, the signal at the previous block section turns yellow to indicate the loco-pilot of the approaching train to proceed with caution, and when this train moves into the next block ahead, the signal at the previous to previous block turns green, indicating to move with permissible speed. So, what does that mean? That means is that this is a track and it has been divided into number of blocks. Now, as soon as the train has come into this block, the signal here will be red. So, it says that now no train can come in this area. Now, this train moves to this block. So, this signal will become yellow, and it means the train which is coming from the back can proceed with caution, and further if this train further moves to the next block, then this will become green. So, when it becomes green, it means the train which has come here now can move into this area, whereas the previous train. So, when we are talking about this train, so this is A1 condition, A2 condition and A3 condition. So, as soon as this has reached here and this is B1 condition and B2 condition. So, when this B2 condition becomes B3 here, so this is green, so it can move into this particular section, and the another train is here. That means there is a gap of at least one block between the two trains which are moving in the same direction, and that is the way the safety of the two trains has been ensured. Now, let us look at the aspects and the indications of the 4 aspect stop signals, though you have must be understood all of those things. So, this stop means stop dead. If it is caution, yellow means proceed and be prepared to stop at the next signal. If it would have been a 3 aspect condition, then directly it will come to proceed, but because it is a 4 aspect signal, so attention is being added and it says proceed and be prepared to pass the next signal at the restricted speed. So, the same things has been shown on the right hand side. Now, the next type of a signal set is a reception signal. These signals are the signals which are provided at the entry of the track from a block section to the station section. That means now you are coming. So, as I said, this track is being divided into number of blocks. Now, say here there is a station. So, this one is a station section, whereas after that there will be block section, and similarly it will going to happen on the other side. So, reception signals means if the train is coming from the block signal, then what are the signals which are being provided at this point so as to receive the train in the station limits is what we are talking. So, there are 3 cases which can be there. One is an outer signal, other is a home signal, and third is a routing signal. Let us talk about these. So, what is an outer signal? Outer signal is the first semaphore stop signal before the entry from the block section to the station section. So, if you are talking in this case, if you are entering from the block section to the station section, now if you take it in a further elaborated form, then the station may be only here, but the station section may have the limits like this. So, further certain meters will be there, whereas this is a block section. So, this is a station section. So, as soon as the train is going to move here, so there is one signal being provided and this is an outer signal. It is placed at sufficient distance beyond the station limit so that the line is not obstructed. It is provided at 400 meters from the home signal on the broad gauge track. So, this is an outer signal. There is going to be another signal ahead which will say it is a home signal, and there is a distance between the home signal and the outer signal being talked as 400 meters. If the signal is in on position, that means a stop, then the driver shall bring the train to a stop at a distance of about 90 meters before the outer signal. So, if the train has to be stopped, it means it is going to stop here, and this distance between the position where the train has been stopped and this outer signal is provided is 90 meters. After stopping, the loco-pilot should take train towards the home signal with caution. So, first of all it has to be stopped dead and then only it will start moving back with caution. Then if the outer signal is in an off position, then the pilot need not to reduce the speed of the train if the home signal is also in the off position. This may be provided with a warner signal on the same post to give an additional information. The another one is a home signal, which is going to be very nearer to the station limit or the station or the platforms which are provided. So, this is placed just at the door of the station after the outer signal, and the distance between them we already talked as 400 meters. This signal provided with the multiple arms equal to the number of reception lines available in the station or is the station yard. So, the track is coming from here, but then if it is getting distributed into number of lines, then at this point whatever signal is provided, it will be having number of indications, and those number of indications will tell the loco pilot whether they have to come to this first track or the second track or the third track or the fourth track. So, they have been already cautioned. It thus protects the already occupied sidings. So, if already there is a train on a particular line, then the new train will not be coming on that, and that is where the control is being done at this location. This is located about 50 meters short of the points and crossings. So, there will be a point and crossing here. So, this signal is going to be provided at the location just behind at the rear of these points which are going to be set, so that the driver can get an idea. It is 180 meter in rear of the facing points if we are talking about a multi-aspect color light system. The signal on the main line is placed on a dial which is higher than other signals. So, if it is provided with the main line signal, so then a difference is going to be created there. Now, when the home signal is in the on position, that is a stop, it indicates the train shall come to halt short of the signal, that is before the signal only it should stop. If it is in an off position, then it indicates the line is free and the train is permitted to enter cautiously on the station. So, here are certain aspect controls of the reception signals. So, this is being talked about the warner along with the outer and the home signals. So, when the warner is red, outer is red and home is red, it means stop at the outer signal itself. When the warner is red but the outer is green and the home is green, it means you can enter the station, stop at the starter of the concerned line is on. Then if all are green, then run through via the main line if all signals ahead are being placed at off condition. So, that is already being depicted by the green lights. In the case of distant one, because we work with the attention condition also, that means double yellow system will be there. So, here the combination is like distant and home. So, it is yellow and red, that means you stop at the outer signal. If it is double yellow and yellow, enter the loop line and stop at the station. If it is on green and yellow, then you can come on the main line and stop at the starter. If both are green, that means the running can be through the main line. So, it is also giving an indication whether you are going on the main track or you are going on the branch track. Here a combination of distant signals and inner distant signals along with the home signal are being talked. That means the adequate distance between the home and the distant signal probably was not there, and that is where there was a requirement of providing more of the distant signals. So, when this happens and there are different combinations of the colors being depicted, say the double yellow, yellow and red, which says it is a stop at the home signal. When it is double yellow and yellow, that means you are going on the loop line. And when it is green, double yellow and yellow, you are coming on the main line but is stopping at the starter. And green, green and green, that means you are continuously moving on the main line. So, this is how the information is being given to the loco pilot. Then talking about the routing signals. Now, this is signal system which indicates which particular route is going to be taken by the train which is approaching that location. So, as we said that there can be multiple tracks which may be originating from one track itself, it can go straight. So, we did talk about a 3 through switch condition. So, whether the train is going to move on 1 or 2 or 3 is going to be defined by this type of a signal which is being shown on the right hand side. So, there are number routing signals, just depends on the number of lines which are existing at the signal. So, here you can see that some protruding arm is there. That protruding arm tells that in this particular direction there are different lines right hand side, and out of those some line is to be taken which will again be given as an information on this arm. All such signals, they are placed on the same vertical post for both main and the branch lines. Signal of the main track is kept at the higher level than other signals. It is just placed at the rear of the point from where the lines are going to be set, because the point, this is the point from where it is going to set whether the train will move here or here or here. We have discussed about all of these things when we talked about the points and crossings and turnouts. So, at this location it is being provided. Just before that there is a routing of the things. Now, in this case, if the routing is in either this direction or this, so this will keep move, and it says now this you are going to take a route on the left hand side. Lowering of semaphore signal indicates the track for which the points are set for the reception of the train. A plate is attached to it which defines the track to be taken up or being set for the train. So, this is an additional information which is provided. If main line is being set for the reception of the train, the loco pilot can bring the train at the permissible higher speed. But if it is on the loop line, then the speed gets restricted and the train will be brought at a speed of 15 km per hour. So, here you can see a 2 aspect color light system. So, there is an arm which is trying to tell that which particular route is going to be taken. So, route indicator is there. It chooses one among the 2 routes, and the indication is for the track on the left hand side. So, you can come and go on the left hand side track. Here it says that extremely left side track is going to be taken and you can come on that. There is a combination in terms of the arms where you can see that this is one arm, that is another arm big there. So, these are again a lower quadrant condition because they are going down with respect to the horizontal, and here this is a semaphore stop signal which says that you are coming on the main line. Now, similarly, when the train is being received, the train has to be dispatched. So, it will be departing from the station. So, when it is departing from the station, again there are 2 types of signals which are used here. One is defined as a starter signal, another one is defined as an advance starter signal. So, the starter signal is what? It is a stop signal which marks the limit up to which the line can be occupied without infringing in other lines. So, you have a platform and then there is a track here. Now, this track, and then there can be multiple tracks here. See, this is a condition and then there is another platform on this side. Now, these 2 tracks which are provided here, they can be the 2 main tracks which are going continuously, but these 2 lines, it may happen that they get connected in this form. So, if there is a train which is standing here and there is another approaching train which has nothing to do with this station, it is not going to stop there. So, it will continuously keep moving on this line. So, that is the reason why this type of an arrangement can be there. So, in this case, when the train is standing say here, so there is going to be a signal here at this point. This is what it says. This is a stop signal which marks the limit up to which a line can be occupied. So, the line is being occupied only up to this distance before it. The train cannot go and start standing like this here. This is not allowed. The separate starter signal is provided for each of the line. A train can leave from the station only when this signal is in off position which says proceed. and these are provided just in the rear of the facing points. So, the facing points in the direction in which you are going to move, just at the rear of that it is being provided. The another one is an advanced starter signal, and this advanced starter signal, they are the last two stop signals at the station limits. And these last stop signals which are there, they are provided beyond the trailing points and switches at a distance 180 meter or more. But if you are using a multi-aspect color light system, not a semaphore stop signal system, then it can be 120 meters also. So, that means when you are going beyond the trailing points and switches, so here it is saying, so there can be another signal being provided. So, it is a starter signal and this can be advanced starter signal. These indicates the movement of a train from the station limits to the block section. That means now from here we are again moving back into the block section. In this direction it was station section. Now, a block section lies between the advanced starter signal at one station and the outer signal of the next station. So, if we continuously talk about the big track and then there has been a station here and then there is another station at this point. So, as we said, if the other lines are there and this lines keeps getting here. So, this line is say not there and finally, it comes back here in this form. So, here we said there is going to be a advanced starter signal, but in this case there is an outer signal which will be provided and then there is a home signal which is going to be provided here. So, that is the limit it is going to set and this total distance is for the block section. No train can leave the station limits until and unless the advanced starter is taken to off position which says you can proceed. Again, the aspect controls of the departure signals have been shown for the two aspect signaling and the multi aspect signaling. So, the first one is for the two aspect and the down one is for the multi aspect signaling. So, in that case, if it is red and red for the starter and the advanced starter, it means you can stand in the rear of the starter. But if the starter is green and advanced starter is red, it means you can come up to the advanced starter location. And when both are green, that means now the line is clear, you can move ahead. In the case of a multi aspect, so it is a starter and advanced starter, red and red stand in the rear of this, then yellow and red is what will be there. In this case, it is a shunt up to the advanced starter, means the caution is there, if you start, but with caution and go and stop there. And yellow or green and green, then proceed, line is clear. So, that is how the multi aspect signaling can be there. Here you can see the orientation in which the signals are going to be there. So, if you are coming from this direction, so first of all you will find that there is an outer signal which can also be provided with a Warner signal. That means it is a combination of a semaphore stop signal and Warner signal on the same post. And then when you are reaching the station limit, so this is a station limit being defined further. So, you are coming with the home signal here and this home signal will also have indications whether you are going on a main line or you are going on a loop line. So, that routing will also be there and then here when you are on the station you will be somewhere here and then finally when this train is again starting and is getting departed. So, there is a first starter signal which is provided before the facing points and then there is an advanced starter which is at the limit of the station and the block. So, the distances are also being shown here that it says 400 meters from the outer signals and then the station limit starts and from the station limit at 180 meters around there is a home signal. So, a distance of roughly around 600 meters is there. Okay, so, these different overlaps are there. This is in a section overlap is station overlap is there or a block overlap is there. So, those overlaps are being talked here. Similarly, on the other side 185 and 400 meters is the distance which has been taken between the starter signals to the station limits and from station limits to the advanced starter condition. Now, there are some minimum visibility distances which we should also talk in the case of two aspect lower quadrant signaling systems. For an outer signal, it is 1200 meters in sections with a sentient speed 100 kilometers or more, but if the speed is less, then that can be 800 meters. The Warner signals, the home signals and the main starter signals, they are all at 400 meters. Then all other signals, the 200 meters can be the visibility which needs to be ensured. In the case of multi-aspect signaling, for distinct signals it is 400 meters, but for inner distinct and the stop signals it is 200 meters only. Now, in this case, if this 200 meters is not possible, there is a problem with the continuous visibility of a stop signal by approaching, then the suitable speed restrictions needs to be imposed at this particular section. Now, here the aspects of the stop signals are being shown. Now, we are having a different combinations. You can see there is a distinct signal, there can be an inner distinct signal or a home signal, main line starter, loop line starter, advanced starter, and then what type of indication it is trying to give. So, as far as the signal aspect is concerned, if it is a stop, then the red light will be there. If it is caution, there is going to be a yellow. If it is an attention, there are going to be a double yellow, and if it is proceed, it is going to be green. And we have repeated this thing number of times, so you should keep it in mind. Now, here the distinct signal, if it is double yellow, where an inner distinct is yellow and home signal is red, then it says stop dead at the home signal. Now, when it is being set that you are coming to the main line, so it is green, you can move, but it says double yellow, attention, and then home signal says caution, then a main line starter say red, it means you can come to the main line and stop at the main line starter. So, up to that point the train can come and then can stop. And if it is green, green, green and green for the main line starter, and even in the advanced starter also that is green, it means this train is not going to stop on this station, this will continuously move. So, it is a run through on the main line with the permissible speed, it will move. Here then another case is that double yellow for distant, double yellow again for a inner distant, yellow with the route indicator, the route is being set on the station, which particular line is being taken. Here it is taking a loop line and the loop line is being set at red. It means you can come up to the loop line starter and there you can stop your train. Then if it is double yellow and the yellow with the route indicators again for the loop line, and where the loop line is indicating yellow and the advanced starter says green, that means you are coming on this particular station, but you are moving through the loop line, you are not moving through the main line, and still you are just running through, means you are not stopping, you are simply going, but the main track is not being given to this particular train. Now, finally, let us talk about some of the aspects of the stop signals and what are the important things related to that. When the signal is displaying the stop aspect, the signal next in rear shall not display a less restrictive aspect than caution. So, if a signal here it is saying red, stop, and there is another signal at the back of it, then it cannot say less than caution. That means if the train is coming from here, it gets an idea, the loco-pilot gets an idea that there is a train ahead at some distance, be cautious. Less than that is not permissible. In case of a multi-aspect signals, if the caution aspect is to be displayed, then the distance this signal has from the next signal in advance shall not be less than 1 kilometer. So, at least 1 kilometer distance has to be made between the caution aspect signal in the case of a multi-aspect and the advanced signal, stop signal which is there. If this distance is not available between the two signals, then along the caution signal, the next advanced signal shall display attention and caution. That is where now we may be going into a position of a 4 aspect signaling, as well as there is a possibility now we are going into a distant signals and inner distant signals, so as to give idea to the loco-pilot that you need to be cautious and that is being provided from way ahead of the main position. If necessary, the attention caution aspect shall be repeated back on successive signals in the rear unless the adequate distance is obtained. So, if we are talking about 1 kilometer distance, we are talking about 2 kilometers distance, and if that 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer distance is not available because of some obstruction in between. So, it means you need to repeat it further towards the back side till that 1 kilometer is being attained. Now, in all the cases, the signal next in the rear of a signal which is protecting diverging lines shall display attention and caution aspect in the off position when the points are set for any line other than the line over which the higher speed is permitted. So, if it is being set for the, instead of a main line, it is being set for the loop lines, then this attention and caution aspect has to be shown there. Now, when the signal cannot be placed sufficiently in rear of the stop signal protecting the points to permit the loco pilot of an approaching train to reduce to the permitted limit or speed, the attention caution aspect that shall be repeated back on the successive signals in rear unless and until the adequate distance is again obtained. So, again we are emphasizing the another condition here. In case of the metro services, the distance between the signal displaying caution aspect and the next rear stop signal shall not be less than the maximum emergency braking distance required for the trains which are running at the maximum permissible speed on the ruling gradient. So, the trains are moving at a maximum permissible speed and the ruling gradient has been provided for this condition. What is this maximum energy braking distance? This maximum emergency braking distance may be something around 6 kilometers at that maximum permissible speed. So, that has to be ensured. In case the adequate distance cannot be provided between the signal displaying caution and the next rear signal, then the attention caution aspect shall be repeated on the successive signals again till that adequate distance is obtained. If the two signals are combined, then one stop signal may be provided capable of displaying any one of the following aspects. What are the following aspects? We already talked about these. There are 4 following aspects like stop, caution, attention and proceed. So, a combination is what we are talking here. Then under the approved special instructions, a color light distant signal may be combined with the last stop signal of a station in the rear or with an intermediate block signal or with a stop signal protecting a level crossing. So, if you are reaching a level crossing, then now this particular one is defining how it can be done. It says the color light distant signal can be combined with the last stop signal of a station in the rear or an intermediate block signal. This intermediate block signals, they are also defined as in short as IBS. So, here the location of signals are being shown for a multi-aspect color light system. What we found is that there is a, say, for single line, this is for a double line. Here the starters are provided, so up and down movements can be there. There is a home signal, there is a distant signal, advanced starter is being shown. Similarly, on the other side we have distant signal and a home signal. So, the train is coming from this side, so there is a home signal. This is 300 meters, this is 120 meters, 180 meters. This 120 meters is for the station overlap. The station overlap means up to this particular point the station limits are coming, and then 180 meters is for a block overlap. So, block overlap is coming on the other side, and then the distance between the distant and the home is 1 kilometer, and that means non-block overlap condition is being considered here. And when with the help of this block overlap and the station overlap, which it gives you the total distance which needs to be there where the point is being set and between the home station, so that any loop line can be taken by a train. Similarly, in the other case, when you are talking about a double one, it is a distant here, then home, and then it is showing that which particular loop lines needs to be taken. So, there is starter here now finally, and with that there is an advanced starter. So, advanced starter is being provided at a distance of 120 meters, and this is again a station overlap area, whereas if you are coming from this direction, so there is a distant one which is at 1 kilometer in a non block overlap area, and in the case of home at this point say there is a station overlap. So, limits are coming here and 180 meters are being provided with respect to the other conditions. And there can be a board which is provided here, which is a block station limit board. So, BSLB is there. So, that is another type of indication which is provided on the tracks. With this we close our discussion now. What we discussed today was the colored aspect signals which are used on the Indian Railways, and then we talked about the various categories of signals which are used in the station limits, say the reception signals, outer signals and home signals, the routing signals, the departing signals like the starter signals and advanced starter signals. We have also talked about at what particular distances they can be provided with respect to each other, with respect to the station limits, with respect to the points, facing points and the trailing points. And finally, we discussed about the aspect controls for different combinations. Thank you. We will be meeting in the next lecture. Till then, bye.